Right?
So it'll be Gareth Anscombe, a restart for Auckland. Up by 3 at the break over Southland. And a kick floating down to Ben Nally, who's hit hard by Nathan Hughes. And Southland bringing it under control. Rangi Tohireri, who had a pretty good first half. Nicely taken by Francis Saili. And it's there for Matthewson. Auckland looking to inject some enthusiasm, and Hughes doing well to hang on to that rather tricky short pass, but now he's lost it.
He lost the first one.
In fact, he said he lost it the first time.
Well, we heard Mark Anscombe talk about holding on to the ball. So
44 seconds.
He's probably not back to the seat yet, thank goodness.
Maybe didn't see it, but barely 40 seconds into the second half and they've made a handling error.
Great kickoff from Gareth Anscombe. Enabled Auckland to put a lot of pressure. Just landed outside the 22. So they can hit the ball catcher, drive him backwards and on the front foot straight away.
Hold on. 12. Sorry. Let's go. I've got to push 12 back.
Oh, forwards very frustrated there. Teddy Stanaway crept up too close and they were all set to pack down and they had to stop because one of the backs had drifted up into an offside position. Right, now we're set to go.
Touch. Pause. Engage.
Southland have it. Taituli off the back to Rangi Tohiri. Rubber kick. And Saili just taking a bit to bring it under control and then losing it as he hit in the tackle by Cade Porky.
Well, there's 2 mistakes JP made in the opening 2 minutes of the second half.
Yeah,
First one by Hughes, and then on this occasion the fend, and he just didn't respect the ball, not holding on to it. Although Porky did really well to get his hand in there, didn't he?
Yeah, but it was the same knock-kill sort of a kick too from Rangi Tohireri. It was infield. Bobble around a wee bit, but it seemed to take Auckland age for someone to pick it up and enabled Southland just get up and put it under a little bit of pressure.
Oh, Porky there attacking the ball, jabbing it away.
Crap.
Ruled an Auckland knock on, and so Southland will get the scrum.
The Southland attack from set phase is pretty good in the first half. Most of it going to the right. Having said that, in fact, Auckland's attack to the right.
Crouch.
A amount of joy as well. We'll see what they can come up with to the left.
JP, well, Horton's
Pause.
out there, Porky's out there, so they're all lined up away to the left. And now they go to the right through Taituli, the big number 8. Strong run from him, and he's kept the ball in play too. Now Chamberlain carries it on. Well, he's having a good first game here for Southland. Kaleni Taituli, the number 8. Now Rangi Tohiri, off it goes to E, to Wilson, hanging on to it this time. And fires it back behind him. Horton dumped just inside the 22, but it's there for Rangi Tohireri. Off to Ed. Now King backing in, feeding it off to Michael Peterson. Ed again. Width on it this time. Wilson spots a little gap. Pops a speculator pass behind it, which isn't taken cleanly, but Southland have still got it. Rutledge. Now he decides to stab a kick through. But going back is Hughes. He's taken it. And one of the Auckland players has gone down in a heap.
Josh Townsend, Tony.
Yeah, it just looks like he's tweaked an ankle or something out of nothing, but back comes Southland. Lou. Parks has him. Puts him on the deck. Taituli. Off to Rutledge. Now Peterson. Oh, Townsend's in big trouble. Auckland with just 14 on the field at the moment, and he has another little run. Gets a nice pass away to Porky too, but then he fires one that is asking way too much of Joe Tui now. But Townsend,
he was concussed, Tony.
Yeah, he doesn't look too flash at all. He staggered away from a breakdown and just went to the ground in a heap.
Oh, we've probably maybe we look how this happens at Rutledge with the kick this time.
There it is there.
He'd actually just got up to try and get in position, and once he saw the ball going down, he tried to get it, And that's where he just lost his legs. He's not in good shape at all.
So he'd received a knock earlier on.
Yes, he did, definitely earlier on. And Dr. Steve Carra went sprinting straight on. He's in great hands at the moment.
Yeah, it's not a great scene. The player just in the middle of nowhere, really just lost control of his legs. But anyway, Southland managed to get in that position from a brilliant pick off the Vic from Kaleni Taituli. Southland scrum under huge pressure.
Well, here it is here. And he came in to make the tackle on Chris King.
He hit his shoulder. Yeah, he looks like he's in trouble there already. I think he must have, his head collided with Chris King's shoulder and he looked to be in some trouble. So tries to get up and carry on. He hasn't quite got over it.
Just got back from an injury. He had a fractured toe.
First change, Tony, number 18, Richard Hedden on, and jersey 18.
Position still pretty strongly in favour of Southland, so they've started the second half well in that department too. That and a ball they've worked with.
Just have a look at Chris King's forearm here.
That's it.
Yeah, he copped that right in the chops, I'm afraid.
He's sort of keeping his feet, but not really.
So Hedden on and Townsend off.
Come on.
Well, pretty obvious what happened there. Southland getting up, trying to dispute, but being knocked through.
Leading into this game, both these sides have been very strong stats-wise at the line-out. I think running second and third behind Bay of Plenty, who are leading a number of the stats, not surprisingly. So they've been very confident on their own throw and both able to steal ball from opposition as well. So it's a good contest there. Each side having a good crack, but neither one nor the other really having a great advantage in line out at the moment.
Crouch.
So still on the half-time score of 15-12 Auckland.
Pause. Engage. One hand on the ground and up.
Michael Peterson, the man who's been penalised there. And Anscombe can clear. Michael Peterson, a very important role in the Southland side, for he is the guardian of the Ranfurly Shield. It's his job to look after the log of wood, and that's not a task that is assigned lightly. Some very famous people over the years have had to look after the Ranfurly Shield. I think Peter Fatts had it for a while here in Auckland.
Yeah.
Scotty England, I think, was it with the Canterbury side? Auckland have it, and another good run forward from Tom McCartney. Really making some metres tonight for his team. Now they get it wide to Ward up in the line, and as he tries to fend off James Lou, loses the ball. And frustrations continue.
Yes, the great build-up work again from Auckland, and just that ball control thing. They've done all the hard yards. Great metres, as you'd said, Tony, in the build-up from the forwards, and just Ward, he's just looking to keep that right arm free so he can get the pass away on the inside. It's dangerous, of course. Coming out on the wrong side this time, but just a continuing issue for this Auckland side, not maintaining possession and therefore unable to build the pressure they want.
Plenty of movement down here on the Southland bench, Tony. I'm sure that about 3 or 4 players not too far away from getting a boarding pass.
Well, I see Jamie McIntosh starting to pace up and down.
Touch.
I'm sure he'd love to get out there.
Pause. Engage.
Try and help his side win their first game here at Eden Park in a very, very long time. I think the closest they came, there was a draw back in 1976, which coincidentally was up until this year the last time that Otago had won at Eden Park. That's as close as they've got.
Was that Ranfurly Shield too?
76. Just trying to. It was too.
There was, yeah.
5 changes coming up, Tony. David Hall will come on, Jamie McIntosh, Elliot Dixon,
Crouch.
Scott Cowan, and also Nick Barrett.
Touch. Pause. Engage.
Taituli off the back. That was James Liu running onto it strongly. And now Wilson kicks long down to the 22. Just trying to get play down the other end of the field. Ward, plenty of time to get his kick away and a touch. Not a bad return either from Ward. It was a long kick from James Wilson. There is James Liu. He's a Australian. He's played sevens for Australia. Comes from Sydney. He's played a bit of rugby in Scotland, but now he's out playing in Southland. And he looks very solid, doesn't he, John?
Oh, the whole 10, 12, 13's worked well for Southland. Here come your subs now, Willie.
Yep, the whole new front row of Hall, McIntosh and Barrett for Southland.
Time on.
And this man here, Elliot Dixon, he'd be one of the better ball-carrying forwards in this competition. That one's gone over the back, and Albie Matthewson's got it. Almost gets past Ed. Now carried on by Sam Henwood. So Auckland get a chance again to attack. McCartney leading by 3, but that won't be enough. Faumuina now rumbling forward. Carried on by Luatua. Henwood. Auckland closing in on the goal line. Ash Dixon went back. He's left it now for Matthewson. McCartney. Now maybe they look to get away. Well, Hadley Parks just tripping a little, I think.
Out 16.
Now David Hall has to get out. Matthewson has it. Hughes running hard onto it. Good burst from the young blindside flanker. Now off it goes to Anscombe. Floats the ball in the gap. Lowry's left it behind though. And Cade Porky's got it for the Stags. Well, there was a try gone begging there. If Lowry had been able to hang on to that, he was over. Scott Cowan will clear. Now Scott Cowan on for Sonny Rangitohiri, who did a very good job in the first half for the Stags, but on comes Cowan, and Southland dodge another one here. Well, you could see he was through.
He was in the hole, wasn't he?
Almost.
I mean, Nathan Hughes ghosted through the gap just a phase earlier with a lovely similar line. The difference being he held the ball.
Lowry now wins the line out, so the pressure remains. Matthewson. Faumuina now trying to get through the tackle of Chamberlain. Matthewson just holds it up, and it's Sam Henwood.
Release, Red.
Auckland threatening again. Charge for the line from Dixon.
Short.
Well, he's convinced that it's short, Vinnie Munro, and we'll have a 5-metre scrum.
And we'll have another wee look as well. That had to have been close. Must have been.
Tom McCartney asked if he could go upstairs, JP.
I'm not surprised. I thought initially he'd got it on the line, so let's have a wee look.
Well,
He spins on the tackle well, doesn't he?
absolutely convinced that he hasn't got this on the line, Vinny.
No, I think he is. Well, certainly on the first plant he is correct. Only possibility is whether he rolled it after that, but that's not conclusive there.
And as I'm sure the players are instructed to do, the minute the ball goes to ground anywhere near the line, they're all flopping in so that the TV cameras are blocked. Yeah.
Anyway, great attacking situation here for Auckland. Big right-hand blind.
Crouch.
Southland have laid 3 defenders over there.
Well, if they can score here,
Pause.
might be a fairly
Engage.
firm step towards a win for Auckland.
Stay down.
Southland will look to hold them out. Lowry, off it goes to Piutau. And advantage. Hadley Parks, Auckland out in their favour. They'll keep hammering away for the moment. Luatua. Matthewson now finds McCartney. McIntosh with his tackle. Now off it goes to Anscombe. They're out quickly on him. They'll come back for the penalty.
He's saying James Wilson was up offside, number 12 for Southland. They need to get some points here too, Tony. They've basically had a mortgage inside the Southland 22, and I wonder with the impact of those 5 subs coming on. It was the very first line-out that they had that Southland had to throw the ball in, and David Hall didn't find his target, and since then they've been camped here in their own 22.
Yeah, the Masters are defending in this area though, Willie, aren't they? I mean, they have been phenomenal. Plenty of practice had it too, particularly down home when holding on to the log. They seem to just be able to hold out. I don't know if there's a lot in this, really.
Yes, this is definitely a, what you call a lightweight, bantamweight.
Yeah, their backs.
Yeah.
I think Auckland have just probably taken a wee bit of risk out of their game, a little more patience in their attack. Noticeable after that overthrow that you mentioned from David Hall, that they went the straight option, pick and go, about 5 or 6 in a row. Just wound Southland back. Didn't look that interested in going wide.
Anscombe's second penalty attempt of the night. And right down the middle. And Auckland stretch their lead out to 18-12. 13 minutes into the second half.
And the result of pressure, so they do take some points. Not the ultimate that they're after, but they've taken 3 nonetheless.
Lowry fielding a deeper kickoff this time from Southland. Mathewson with the kick, under pressure too from Cowan, but he's got it away and Rokotoko heads off after it. Taken nicely by Tony Kunwayu though, and he releases it to Chamberlain. There for Cowan. Off to Eat. Wilson standing wider and trying to get the pass out to Porky, but he took it under pressure and he's lost it.
No, Tony.
Southland counter-rucking though. And they might just have turned this over. They have. Well, they lost it, but now they've got it back. Wilson fires at it. And Nick Barrett on the field there in 23. Chamberlain gets rid of it. Kunwayu. Joe Rokotoko maybe labouring with an injury out there at the moment. No, and he's got the ball. And up he goes. A moment or so ago he was staggering, and now he's tearing away to score the try. Well, Joe Rokotoko, you can see the grimace on the face there. I think he's picked up an injury, but not enough to score him. To stop him from scoring, I should say. A runaway try.
And he just plucked it from the breakdown. In Southland, we just have a wee look here at Harry. Hurt himself going in the air. Attacking the ball, comes out very awkwardly on that left knee. And he probably got a bit of a shock. And then Kunwayu takes it into contact. Surrounded by Auckland defensive players. But there it is, just sitting there at the back. There's no one home for Southland. So Rokotoko picks it up. No problem with that left knee. Too much pace.
Oh, he's always going to get there once he picked it up, but he couldn't believe his luck. The ball was just sitting there. And there you see the Southland defenders had gone way over it. One of them needed to keep their legs back to show that the ball was still in the ruck. You called it perfectly, Tony. You thought he was foxing.
Well, I think it was sort of hyperextended. He went down on that left knee. It fell slightly awkwardly, and I think everyone gets concerned in that situation. But
to be fair, I think it was Nick Barrett, the prop, who was the only bloke within cooey of him. And even at half speed, Joe Rokotoko is going to be too quick for most forwards. And a nice kick again from Anscombe. And that's the try that Auckland were looking for. 25-12 now. And it's going to be tough for Southland now. Luatua has done well because it was a nice high-hanging kick. That's the third try for Auckland. And if they can go on and win this, maybe pick up another try, these will be huge points for them because they're bottom of the table. 2 points behind Southland coming into this game, so a lot at stake. Faumuina. Southland were looking pretty good through the first half, but now Auckland have the game under a semblance of control. Horton flicks the pass away to Porky, heads off across field. Now he's straightening up. Stanaway kept with him though. Made the tackle. Cowan Short side it goes for Lou. Cowan scrambling it away. Well, Porky was on the deck. Had to quickly get back to his feet. Two of the Auckland forwards coming at him. Lowry and Dixon. Now Eade. Wilson, well, they really need to be the next to strike at the Stags. Tony Kunwayu brushes off the tackle, but then he can't quite, well, it was Chamberlain, can't quite pull the pass in. That was threatening.
Well, to see Kunwayu again from the outside. Great fend from Famuina. The pass just interrupted by an Auckland play. Lovely play from Auckland earlier. Anscombe just plugging that left-hand corner. They have that cushion now. They know they can play territory more, put the pressure back on Southland, force them to play. It was only really some brilliant running from Cade Pokey from the back that got him out of trouble.
Well, interesting men warming up on the sideline for Southland as we see these injuries attended to. In jersey 18, this is Michael Fatialofa, who last year was the captain of Mount Albert Grammar School here in Auckland. Had a fantastic year and capped that with an appearance for the New Zealand secondary schools team that beat Australia, and he's a big signing, a very good signing for Southland. But it's Auckland right now making the changes, Willie.
It is Tony Poliasi Manu in jersey 16 replacing Ash Dixon, and you saw the experience there of Tom McCartney. Lowry needed some treatment, and so he threw his boot off, knowing that you can't have the line out if the prop's not in there. Or scrum, I should say.
I can see more Southland replacements lining up. Might be the lot shortly.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
10 unanswered points from Auckland in the second half so far. Anscombe, and there's a little hole opens up from here too, and he keeps running. Anscombe, he's got to go all the way. Bonus point try for Auckland. Gareth Anscombe the try. The gap opened up and he shot through.
And he ran, and he just kept running. Gareth Anscombe, the one out defence from Southland from the scrum here. See 10, he just goes wide. Cowan can't get across, and Anthem shows good pace. Wee handoff of Cowan. No one home, under the posts.
A brilliant way to bring up the bonus point try. Look at the angle that he had. Great scrum as well. McCartney going to hooker from the scrum, and look at that, just the fend off, had the angle, and once he got through, that's Auckland's 13th try of 2011. It's a beauty.
Well, Horton was wide, and Kunwayu was also back, but neither of them could get near him. So that's a really well taken try, and of course converted by Anscombe, and Auckland suddenly out to 32-12. And it's looking a whole lot better for them.
And here are those changes, Tony. Big moment. Michael Fatialofa on in jersey 18. Also Robbie Robinson in 21. And Matt Saunders, jersey number 22, replacing Tony Kunwayu, Ben Nali, and also James Hu.
The benefit of the wide pass, flat wide pass from 9. 10 running flat.
Knocked down on the Auckland side. McCartney has it. Anscombe boots it down to Porky. Cowan now. Robbie Robinson, in fact, on. Now Cowan. He bypasses a couple of forwards. And Horton gets it away to Boys. Racing down the flank, but it's been intercepted by Rokethoko, the kick ahead. Now checked, not deliberately as he came through, so Robinson plenty of time to pick it up and set off. Well, Southland just have to throw it around now. Eade turns it back in field. Got the call from Wilson. Has to go in and help him out. Cowan. Hall now. Moves it on. Robinson, short pass away to Nick Barrett. Hit again, looking for the inside ball and then finding Saunders. Wilson now, and coming through is Cowan in support. McIntosh gets the feet working and comes for Wilson. Eade now onto Hall. Left it behind. Now it's Elliot Dixon. He's a strong run. He's got it into Nick Barrett in a bit of space. Thundering down towards the 22. So good chance here for Southland. Saunders gets it away to Dixon. Tries to Fred. Well, that's still play on. Chamberlain now Fatialofa. Falmoina goes in over the top of him. Still there though for Southland. Eade. On it goes to Porky. Runs hard straight at the defence. Robinson now to Saunders. On it goes to Tui now. Well, this is a movement that started a long way downfield. David Hall just holds it up. Just a little bit of indecision there, but they've still got it. Robinson. Move it on. Scooped up by Dixon. Runs hard and offloads. Nice hands here to Boys. Runs out of room though. Well, a long movement from Southland. Ends up with the ball and touch just a couple of metres from the line and someone else is down.
More concerns for Auckland. Tony, the medical staff are out there. It's definitely one of the forwards because Ben Marsari, this is a big moment for the young man that was voted the best and fairest club footy player last year.
Well, this might be the replacement Richard Haddon, I think.
Well, I'm not surprised he's starting to go down to Auckland, as they haven't had the same amount of changes as you. Southland left with no option now but to just keep the ball alive, and they did so. Auckland might be forced to make tackle after tackle. Yes. Southland can keep their hands on the ball. It's going to get more and more tiring.
Yes, this looks like one of those ones that might just take a while. You see Southland still with the advantage in the amount of ball and where the game's been played, but Auckland just been that better at taking their chances, haven't they?
And movements that end up in tries have started pretty far out as well. As you see Nick Barrett here, fresher legs than some. Ooh.
That's where the injury occurred there, Tony. I think that he just clipped the boot just clipped him. He hadn't moved since then, so it is Haddon.
Head as well. Now just getting up now. Good sign.
Well, they've already lost Josh Townsend. Looks like a fairly big concussion, and Ben Marsoi it is trotting onto the field from the Papatoetoe Club. Yes, best and fairest player voted in Auckland Club Rugby last year and the top try scorer this season. So a good moment for him, but not a good moment for Richard Haddon. Well, Haddon is making his way very slowly off the field. Well, they've got real injury problems now. 2 locks injured in this game. They've got a bunch of loose forwards out.
Hey, got to wait for him to get off the field, so just wait, please.
And that's going to take a while too, because he's,
whistle, then you can start.
as you can see,
just
moving
wait.
very slowly.
Another good minute.
It'll probably mean that Chris Lowry will go back into the lock position, Tony. He's covered that for Auckland and the Blues in the past.
So this is Auckland ball.
Halfback.
Chance to relieve some pressure. Jeez. Most we consider the stretcher scenario worthwhile, isn't it? Even though he is moving.
You see Steve Cara and Mark Plummer there from the Auckland medical staff taking him off. So play carries on. Auckland throw close to their own line. Lowry taking over some line-out responsibilities. Third of the night for him. And Auckland just trying to drive it away. Good position on the scoreboard. and Mathewson clearing it away to touch.
And Southland come straight back at it again.
David Hall into the line out. It's not tidy ball though. Mathewson's come swooping through for Auckland. Southland is getting a bit messy, and Auckland will cash in. Mathewson away to the short side, and Lowry on it goes to big Nathan Hughes. Beautiful back and field pass, and Lowry taken 5 metres short of the line. Ward's not happy. Southland came through, and Vinnie Munro happy. Oh, Southland get it. Saunders, off it goes to McIntosh. That was a good breakout from Auckland. Now what can Southland do? They'll try and get the ball wide, and Cade Porky sets off, trying to get on the outside. Lovely ball back in field to James Wilson. He's in space. Auckland defence coming across. Now he needs someone to pass it to. That's been lost forward by Piatau. Porky there, and they've still got it. Auckland defence, well, in real disorganisation here. Glenn Horton. Play on, says the referee. Barrett. Nick Barrett offloads it. Cowan, can he get it down? He's lost it. Oh, well, that was a 100-metre movement, end to end, and in the end, Scott Cowan couldn't get it down.
Oh, brilliant stuff, and this is where it started. Cade Porky, it had come from within their own goal line. Great backing up here, just has to buy time, Wilson, and he does that pretty well, so early gets a hand to it. It's gone forward there, but Porky claims it again. It had come left, and this is the finish act. Desperate defence from Stanaway, and he disrupts it.
Great tackle from Stanaway, and it was actually Cowan that started the movement, JP, 100 metres up the field. He was the one that actually came through the ruck and disrupted Brent Ward and got the turnover. And a change to Auckland as well. Off comes Joe Rokothoko, and George Moala goes on in jersey number 22. And Tony, I thought Francis Saeli had almost intercepted it and actually broken it down earlier on. He just managed to get it wide again and retain possession.
Yeah, so I said Piatau. Of course, it's Francis Saeli playing on the wing.
Outstanding effort, really, from Auckland. That far in front, out on their feet, forced to defend.
Touch. Pause. Engage. Ball's out.
Cowan coming around, doing a good job of disrupting this ball as Auckland tried to clear it. Mathewson eventually comes away with it and somehow scrambles it into touch.
And this is going to start to get frustrating for Southland. It's sort of all but for them at the moment. They can't quite break Auckland.
Ball throws. Tui now takes it down. Well, Southland having tried to score twice end to end. Now take it in tight. Away it goes to Cowan. The boys crunched as he got the ball, but they've still got it, Southland. Off it goes to Saunders. And now McIntosh comes away with it. Offloads. Horton on to step his way through. Hadley Parks stopping him, but it's there for Scott Cowan. And the arm goes out from Vinnie Munro. Eade swings the pass wide to Wilson, to Robinson. Gone loose, they'll come back for the penalty.
Maybe just a bit too loose for Southland. They're throwing it willy-nilly. McIntosh, good example of that.
Not going to kick for goal here.
Yeah, no point. Corner, line out. Looking for tries, Southland. But perhaps just a little more control on the attack. Just easy to get all overzealous. Lose the structure, so they'll be looking To take clean line-up ball control, it may be a small drive.
3 off, Charlie.
Well, I don't know whether there's enough time left in this game for Southland to win it. If they could score a couple of tries, they could come away with 2 bonus points, which would be very handy.
There's that change. Tony Angus to Arval comes on for Charlie Faumuina.
So Hall with the line-out throw. Fatialofa there in 18. And it's he who brings it under control, under a bit of pressure. But there it is on the Southland side. McIntosh gets rid of it to Chamberlain. Running strongly. Cowan fires it off to Eade. Now Porky coming across from the wing to Robinson. Just getting shepherded out towards the touchline, Southland. No, he brings it back in field. Cowan. Eade again. Fatialofa. Southland keep plugging away. Saunders the switch on the short side. Robinson. Scragg 5 metres out. Auckland defence looks pretty well set. Barrett. Now off it goes to Eade. Wilson now running strongly and well. Wilson, over he goes. Nicely taken try from James Wilson. It's Southland's 3rd. Maybe just some faint hope of coming away with something flickers for Southland.
Right, it had to come sooner or later. Surely Auckland could just not hold on as hard as they tried. A wealth of possession. The missed pass here behind, straight into Wilson's hands. Later we step off the right foot, but really the defenders are grasping, outnumbered.
That was the money ball, wasn't it? The pass from Eade. They went behind a few of the forwards that were there. He identified Wilson, identified a few of the fatties who were in the front line.
Well, if this goes over, it's 32 to 19. It does go over, so if they can score again in a hurry, they are in range. Still plenty of work to do. Auckland won't want to let this go, having got themselves into a winning position, but after a couple of close calls, they finally get it over the line. James Wilson, as we say, having a really good season.
And running at the defenders who just don't have the legs or the numbers in that situation to come forward and put them under pressure, so he picked them off.
First try for Wilson to go with 4 conversions, 9 penalties, and the drop goal that won the Shield. And now they've lost it.
Oh, Joe Toon now just took it into the tackle and tried to pop it up. That's just over eagerness. I mentioned a little earlier on, trying to keep the ball alive.
Come on, let's go. Top.
Well, there's some tired legs out there, JP. I think it's one of those situations where you got the ball in hand. Surely the game's a bit easier than if you haven't.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's why I think Southland are not without a chance here, but they can't afford to make mistakes like that.
Yeah, and I think Auckland just want to hold on to it now for a period, camp themselves down in Southland territory and take a wee bit of pressure off, as you say. Just
Crouch.
again, some breath and some legs.
Touch.
But here's
Pause.
Auckland's chance now
Engage.
to put it beyond doubt.
Down.
It's probably suiting Auckland, actually.
Off. Got blood in.
Well, speaking of tired legs, Tavita Mailao just about to get a boarding pass. He's going to replace Stephen Luatua.
And Luatua is injured, and this is not a like-for-like substitution. They are now going to have a prop. I imagine Angus Tauval will go into the second row. He's the tallest of the props. But if Luatua goes off, they've lost 3 locks in this game, Auckland.
I think he's been battling for a while too. He's been pretty slow for the last few minutes due to a knock I think he may have received, and even watching him come back after the conversion of that last Southland try, very slow to join his side.
He's a tremendous player, Tony. Real standout at the Under-20 World Championships, obviously.
I was going to say, one of the hardest work people in the Auckland outfit tonight's been that man there with the glasses, Stephen Kara. Last seen dishing out
Too far away.
tummy pills to the Sky team at the Commonwealth Games in Delhi last year.
They work at overtime with this comp, these fellas, aren't they?
Yeah. And he doesn't look too good, Luatua. Well, this is a real shame. Very good prospect. So I think it's Ta'aval that's gone into the second row.
Pause. Engage. 7. Off your bind and up onto the prop. Give him the ball. The 7 coming up, making the 4th front rower legal.
Sam Henwood making the 4th front rower. He slipped his lock, trying to assist his prop.
More Southland. Get the ball down to the Auckland half. Or maybe Hughes has gone, and you just have to find out who's packing down on that scrum for us, Willie. Down the back they go to Chamberlain. He's got it. Just manages to hang on to it. So Southland looking for at least a bonus point here at Eden Park. These are the 2 bottom teams in the Premiership. So every point is going to be vital. Tucked back between the legs by Tui now. Waiting for it on the bounce is Porky, and off he goes into a bit of a hole, Kate Porky. Ward tries to spoil it, but it's there again for the Stags. Eade has it. On it goes to Wilson. Flings the pass wide. Elliot Dixon has it now. And they were offside. Back they come, Southland.
Push.
And to take the tap. Cowan takes it. Off it goes to Robinson, looking for a runner. Finds Chamberlain. Still out from Vinnie Munro. They weren't back. Now Saunders, on it goes. Boys is going to score. Well, that's a bonus point try. Still 7 minutes to play. And Southland are hanging in there.
Surely not possible, the victory from here for Southland, but Auckland are just battling. Look at the numbers again. Just too many. Boys is the finisher. They just can't keep with it, Auckland at the moment. Southland shifting them from side to side. Containing possession, and Auckland just running out of defenders. There's not much you can do. They've got to get back in the game.
Yeah, they need possession as well. There's another Auckland as well. Matt Saunders with that lovely offload. Basically got it, and the defender inflicted on.
Well, this is a really important conversion for James Wilson. If this goes over, they stand to gain 2 bonus points, and they do have a chance to steal the win. And it's not bad. That's a beauty. It's 32 to 26. And there are still 6 minutes to play.
6 very, very long minutes for this Auckland side. Regardless, bonus points are proving crucial in this competition because Southland are one of 4 teams that have had 2 and a 4 prior to this match. Bonus points been a difference. So
sorry, JP, that's Sam Henwood, and so back on comes Ash Dixon. So they've basically got about 6 tight forwards on the field at the moment.
Well, Southland will keep stretching them.
Well, they can have a real go now. Cowan. On it goes to Wilson. And now Robbie Robinson senses the opportunity to run. Leaves the ball back behind him. Dixon carries it on, but he's over the touchline.
No. Yeah, Tony, the only loose forwards left are Lowry and Hughes. The rest of the pack is the tight 6, as you call it now.
Well, it didn't take much for Southland to read it well. They're just using the width now, really trying to stretch. Auckland was a good tackle from Handy Pucks.
Well, Hughes, that's not straight. Oh, what a time for a crooked throw. McCartney's not too happy. He found Hughes, but crooked throw, and so Southland will get possession. Well, annoyed with himself. I don't think he's got any complaint with the decision.
Crouch.
So Ash Dixon's now packing down on the side of the scrum.
Pause. Engage.
Not a bad shove from Auckland either. But Elliot Dixon fighting with it for Southland. Cowan frustrated, but here it is. Off it goes with David Hall. I don't think he was the bloke they wanted to give the ball to. Now they've got it, and Eade stabs a little kick into space. Wilson tearing after it. Saunders had the bounce, but he's lost it.
Oh, was it the option? He found the space. He hit the grass. Bounce could have gone anywhere. In fact, it does go into a Southland player's hand, Saunders, but he just couldn't hold it. Hit partly in the tackle by Sealy at the same time. So good vision, but 50-50.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, they're not in a hurry to set the scrum of the Auckland team. Trying to run down the clock.
So Manu, Mailau and McCutney, the front row.
Mathewson telling Soeli
Touch.
to go to his left-hand wing. Just want to use that short side, but he's sneaking in behind.
Well, that's not bad going at all from Auckland. Ash Dixon off the back. In fact, this is Ash Dixon carting it up now. It was a Marsoe field packing in the back of the scrum. Now Lowry. Auckland now just need to hang on to it, and they'll get the win. But boy, it's been hard fought. Mathewson. Auckland should be able to close this out. Just under 2 minutes to go. Mailau. Southland trying to come through and maybe getting hands on the ball. It's a Auckland scrum though. Minute and a half to play.
Oh, just doing enough for Auckland, and this is valuable time ticking away too.
Well, he's throwing the ball away, JP. That'll be Mathewson.
He's wasted as much as possible, isn't he? The more time out of play, the better for Auckland at the moment.
Yeah, but I think there might have been a member of the Southland medical team over there, and he's just thrown it straight back.
He has to, and I think they're all talking about the 72s, Tony. They don't want to be the team that actually allows Southland to win.
Well, this makeshift Auckland pack, it's ready to scrum it perhaps one last time.
Touch. Pause. Engage.
That was good and straight.
Marsoe takes it off the back. So less than a minute to go. Hugh struggling forward.
They're going 20.
It's there for Auckland. Mathewson.
Advantage.
Off it goes. They've got the advantage. That should be enough for Auckland. Tavita Mailau. They could finish it off with a try here and remove all doubt. Fighting towards the line. That's Marsoe. He's over. Poliasi Manu, the replacement prop, has got over. That seals it for Auckland. It also denies Southland one of those bonus points.
Great finish. And thoroughly good finish for Auckland as well. They've done well more than enough to take this match. It's proved difficult, taken off the back of it. Untidy scrum again too, and worked up the middle. These are players who are out on their legs. Just controlled it at the base.
Oh,
spun in the tackle.
Yeah, great work.
Had plenty to do, didn't he?
Boy, he had some work to do.
Good time, Chris.
Tremendous determination from Poliasi Manu to seal the win for Auckland. Invaluable points.
Well, they've had to work incredibly hard for this one. Thought they had it sealed relatively early in the second half.
Well, they've got a game against North Harbour coming up this weekend. It'll just be anyone who can walk, you're in the team.
Yeah, it could be new look 15.
So Anscombe from wide out. Well, they've not only held on, they've finished strongly. They've answered a strong challenge. Beautiful kick again from Anscombe. And it's 39-26 final score. Auckland get maximum points from this match with Southland at Eden Park.